Hey, I'm Jake Parker, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're dropping some knowledge and some wisdom for high school graduates, people who are into art and want to know what they should do post high school to pursue their craft. So let's get into it. Believe it or not, I have a son who's graduating high school this year. He loves art. He loves to draw. You've seen him on this YouTube channel before. His name's Tate Parker. Check him out on Instagram at robotater.comics. So he draws comics. And I've been thinking a lot about what advice to give him post-graduation, after he graduates and he tries to pursue a career in art. And I had the opportunity at Emerald City Comic-Con to meet with a bunch of my favorite artists. And so I thought I'd go around. I brought a camera with me. I thought I'd ask these artists what advice they would have for people who are graduating high school this year and who want to be artists. You know, what is it something they wish they had known when they were graduating, or what is something that they think people right now should know going into the art world and who want to, make a change or a difference in the world with their art, or just be able to support themselves with their talent and their ability. So there's a lot of good advice. Get out your paper and pencils and take some notes, and let's hear what they have to say. Kazu Kibuishi, he's a longtime friend of mine. I met him back in 2002 or 3 when I was living in LA. And he's a prolific comic artist. His graphic novel series Amulet is in its, I think, 8th book now. He's working on book 9. It's sold millions of copies. He's a all-around good guy and very wise. He's got a lot of advice, a lot of wisdom for you. So here's what he has to say.
Focus on learning what to put into your artwork, not necessarily on doing the artwork. Because I think that being an artist is like a lifelong pursuit. So you're going to always draw and constantly get better, and you can only get better through practice. And so you're just going to practice. But think about what you want to do with the practice, with what you're practicing, and study that. That's what I would recommend they do. And I think it's the best thing I ever did, is that I learned how to research things, historical research, and analyze it, and process it, and write about it. And it's helped me tremendously as a writer.
Dave Kellett, I met him 4 or 5 years ago at the American Library Association show. It was in Las Vegas, and I just went up and introduced myself, and we hit it off and been friends ever since. He is a hilarious webcomic artist, and his comics, he's got 2 comics. He's got Sheldon and he's got Drive. Sheldon's like a gag-a-day type of comic, which I love. It's a callback to newspaper cartoons, and then Drive is this funny sci-fi epic, like Dune meets Star Trek meets Muppets, I guess. I don't know if there's a better way to describe it, but he had some great advice, and here's what he has to say.
So one bit of advice that I would give to someone graduating from high school right now is that the pace of change in the world, and the world in general, is such that you have to be the prime mover of your own success in life. Will you have family? Will you have friends? Will you have a support network? Absolutely. But you have to be the one that takes responsibility for making your own magic in your career. When you take ownership of it, when you learn as much as you can, when you practice your craft and your trade, when you work at it every day so you're getting better and better and better incrementally. But you have to remember that it's not going to be someone in your life that takes a sword like a knight and makes you a knight on each shoulder. It's you taking action in your life, you taking ownership in your life and in your career and in your hopes that will make it happen. So you've got to make your own magic happen for you.
Royden Lepp, so he does this graphic novel series called Rust. It's like this alternate reality timeline where robots have taken over the world, and it's years after this battle with the robots, and it's about these kids and how they deal with it. And anyways, just check it out. Cool stuff. I met Royden at Emerald City Comic-Con the first time I went, and every year we just make sure we meet up and touch base with each other, and he had some great advice too. Here's what he had to say.
My advice for people just graduating school: you want to be creative, you love drawing, you love making artwork. Copy other people. Now's your time to explore different styles. You have a desire to create your brand and have your way of drawing, but it's too early for that. grab some artists that you really love and try to copy them exactly and see what it feels like in your wrist to draw like them, and then go to somebody else and draw something totally different. Now's your time to explore what your superpower is as an artist. You can figure out what your individual voice is later. It's not the time for that now. Now's the time to explore and find out what you're good at. That's my advice for you.
Ben Mauro is an amazing concept artist, and his work first caught my eye when I was looking for cool robots online, and he did this amazing robot, and that just sent me down this rabbit hole of amazing concept art. Can I say amazing enough? I don't know. Anyways, this was my first time meeting him, and he had some great advice for people who want to know how to get educated after high school. Let's hear what he has to say.
If you really want to do this for a living, just go for it. There's so many resources online. You don't have to go to like expensive college anymore, and a lot of the stuff I had to, go move around the country and pay a lot of money for an expensive school is available for like $20, $30 online or in books now, and all the resources are at your fingertips, and it's just up to you to put in the work now.
Daniel Warren Johnson, this guy is an incredible comic artist. He puts so much love and care into every drawing and just so much energy. When I look at his art, it makes me want to draw and up the level of my craft. So I had to talk to him. We met several years ago. I think it was at Emerald City for the first time. Anyways, good guy, really humble and down-to-earth guy, and he had some great advice too. Here's what he had to say.
Hello, new graduate of high school. Congratulations. And I hear that maybe you want to get into the entertainment arts and maybe make comics. And my one piece of advice for those of you who are trying to make that your career is don't wait for a professor to tell you to make something. I've found that the students that I've worked with in the past and the students that I've interacted with are the most successful when they are making their own books just on their own. If they're getting any assignments from their professors, they're using those assignments to build on the world they've already started making in their own stories. And it sounds daunting, but just start and worry about the problems later, because you will figure it out, and the more you actually just do the work, the more likely you're going to be awesome at it. So that's my small piece of advice. Good luck.
Lucy Bellwood, we go way back to the Flight days. We did a graphic novel anthology together with a bunch of other artists, and I believe that's where I met her first. But I wish I could bottle up her energy and just drink it from time to time. She's so enthusiastic about art, about comics, about life. The girl lived on a sailboat for a time, and that was her job. And while she was living on the sailboat, she drew comics. So yeah, she's amazing, she's incredible, and she has some really practical advice as well. Check out what she has to say.
So my advice, if you're just graduating high school, is invest in figure drawing practice. There are tons of tools on the internet that can give you little timed gesture poses, and you can practice that craft for the rest of your life. It's really easy to get hung up on wanting to have a distinctive style or some kind of individual calling card visually, but really learning how to see is so much more important, because it's going to give you the tools to develop your own style organically over time. So get online, Google figure drawing tool or gesture drawing tool, and there are YouTube videos and websites and photo libraries, and just get a big pad of paper and a China marker and draw 30-second poses as fast as you can. Move through them, do like 10, 30 minutes a day, and you're going to start training your eye to see what's actually on the page, and that's going to help you immeasurably as you move forward in developing your creative practice. Good luck!
David Peterson, this guy created Mouse Guard, and I'm a sucker for rodents, and I'm a sucker for fantasy, and when you combine the two, I think you've got magic, and he's definitely created something special with Mouse Guard. He has some great advice too, so let's hear what he has to say.
I would say to focus on making some manageable, attainable goals, and every one of those should have a project associated with it. So whether it's do one issue of a comic, design a certain number of characters, make a set of prints, build a website, do a certain amount of minutes of animation, whatever it is, make it something that's not so easy that it's just a blow off, but not so hard that you're setting yourself up for failure. Make your goals attainable, and then once you finish that, build off of it and do something that's a new goal that's a little more challenging the last, and make that next thing better. Don't ever go back and redo the first thing. Work on making the next thing better.
Jed Henry, me and Jed go back 9 years now, I think is when I met him. He was one of the first artists I met when I moved to Utah. I'm actually wearing one of his shirts right here. Jed is such an inspiration to me. He's one of the hardest working people I know. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He hasn't let anyone choose his path for him. He's going down the path that he's chosen, and every time I see him do something new and I look at what he's doing, I'm just inspired to do that in my own life. But he has some great advice, and let's hear what he has to say.
One piece of advice that I have for anybody coming into the field or coming out of education is to try lots of different things and see what sticks. A lot of times I think sometimes we come up with a brand or an art style or a project that we want to show to the world, and the world doesn't necessarily accept it or respond the way that we hoped. And we doggedly, persist and no, this is my creative vision, this is what I'm going to do. And as an artist, I've learned that I have lots of different creative interests. And so when I was first starting out, I tried lots of different things. I tried children's books, I tried video games, I tried working in animation, like mainstream 90-minute movie type stuff, right? I did a lot of things, and eventually a couple of those things really stuck. People online responded to those things, or if you're not trying to market directly online, it could be whoever you're applying to, the studio that you're applying to responds to those things. By trying a lot and then seeing what kind of positive response you get back, you're able to you can define to the world what your creative interests are, and then the world will tell you back what it wants to support you to do. And it's okay if only one or two of your interests gets to the point where it can support your livelihood. And it's okay to have the other things that you're interested in just be your hobbies. Even artists don't get to do whatever they want all the time. And so I try a lot, see what the world wants from you, and then let them have that, and work on your other stuff in private, and work that up until you can, share that with the world as well. It might sound a little bit mercenary, a little bit I'll do whatever you want. But really, everybody says be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But if you go on a date, you don't want to be your angry self, right? Or if you're going to a job interview, you don't want to be your slouchy Saturday morning self, right? You want to always show your best self. And so I think as an artist, I always want to have integrity. I always want to be myself, but I want to be the self that other people are willing to support, right? Or willing to hire, are willing to work with, are willing to join a team with. And those other parts of yourself creatively can be just for you, and I think that's okay.
Alright, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please share this video with someone you know who's graduating, or someone who has a kid who's graduating, or someone who has a sibling who's graduating. I just want this information to get out there. I think it's excellent advice. I think it's something everyone should just learn and should know, and I'd love it to make the rounds on the internet. So thank you, and we'll see you guys next time.